Hello guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to School. Welcome to another week of Championship predictions. This time we are taking a look at matchweek 37 for the Championship. Now, of course, after this matchweek there will be 9 games remaining and still nothing's decided. I think it's 2 points between Leeds in first, Burnley in third. The playoff push is all up in the air, no one knows. Relegation battle, there's about 8 teams in it at the moment, and still nothing is confirmed and no hints are being given as to what is going to happen come the end of the season. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Drop a like on the video if you're going to enjoy and subscribe. Let's go for matchweek 37. Burnley versus West Brom will be the first game to talk about. Now, West Brom, with 10 men at the weekend, ended up hanging on to all 3 points. Furlong's red card did not get overturned though, so he will now miss 3 games, which with West Brom pushing for the playoffs, that's a long time for him at this time of the season to miss in. As for Burnley, a win here and other fixtures going their way, you could see them end at least in the top 2 or potentially top of the league come the end of this match week. I think Leeds play the day after, so potentially Burnley have the chance to go into the top 2 with Sheffield United and knock Burnley out of the top 2 altogether before they even kick off against Millwall. In this one, Burnley to win but do concede in this one. Burnley 2, West Brom 1. Cardiff versus Luton is the next game to predict. Cardiff starting to slip back down the table at the moment after a defeat to Sunderland at the weekend. As for Luton, if they win this, they're 2 points off Cardiff. It's a massive, massive game for both sides. I think Luton get the 3 points here, the 2-1 victory away in South Wales. They have got a good record away at Cardiff. I think it continues here. Derby versus Coventry is an interesting one. Coventry winning 9 of the last 10 games. Record-breaking stuff for that club. And the club that are in the playoffs at the moment. Late goals galore for them at the moment. And they just keep on getting the victories, or the results at least. Here away at Derby, it'll be very tricky to do that. Derby just getting the first win under John Eustace, much needed one, and now they're only a few points off Cardiff. They need to get a result here, but I think Coventry are just too good for them. Coventry 1, Derby 0 in this one. Middlesbrough versus QPR is the next game to predict. Middlesbrough against my team Swansea at the weekend were awful, like absolutely dreadful, but they have got the squad to do it. They think they've got the manager to do it. I think they're more than good enough to get the playoffs this year, but the players just aren't putting the performances in. Against QPR in this one, it'll be a really, really tricky game. I have gone for Middlesbrough to get the win here. They have to win it if they still want to finish in the playoffs. Otherwise, that gap just will be too much with too little time to go. 2-1 Borough in this one. Sunderland versus Preston next up. Now, Preston, a tricky team to play against at the moment. Of course, midweek last week, they drew 0-0 on my team Swansea. That was a really tough game. Not bad at the weekend for Preston as well. As for Sunderland, of course, just a win at the weekend against Cardiff. Just a win for Sunderland. I say that every week, don't I? Sunderland just keep on winning somehow, and I think they do the same here. It'll be a really close game. I think Preston will score, but Sunderland get the win. 2-1 at home. Norwich host Sheffield Wednesday next. Norwich starting to slip down the table as well after their draw last Friday night against Oxford. In this one, Sheffield Wednesday coming off the back of a big win away at Plymouth, which Plymouth are in a lot of trouble. We'll speak to them in a second. Sheffield Wednesday is the last game before the Steel City derby at the weekend. They need to get something here to continue the momentum into that game. I think it'll end 1-1 here. Sheffield United versus Bristol City is a massive, massive game. Bristol City, once again, bottling a chance to get up into the top 6, unfortunately for them. But this time, it's another tricky game. And against Sheffield United, who I don't think they're, I know they're up there in the league, but I just think the Championship this season has fallen off from what it was last season in terms of the players in this league. The quality just isn't quite as high as it was in previous seasons. It has dropped quite a lot. In this one, though, I think Sheffield United get the win, a slight win, 1-0. Won't be too surprised, though, if Bristol City get something in this one. Portsmouth versus Plymouth next up now. Portsmouth, I knew they were going to win against Leeds. I mean, I even said it in the video. I was, 50-50 for about a minute in that video of predicting Portsmouth to win. I just wasn't brave enough to do it, and sometimes in predictions, You're just going to be brave enough to predict the outcome that you think will happen. So that's exactly what I'm going to do in this one. Against Plymouth, who I think they're gone. They have to win this one. I mean, if they don't win this one, we've been saying it for the last few weeks, but really, like, this is going to be probably last chance now. Plymouth have to win. I mean, it's got to the stage that points aren't even enough now. I think they are only a few points off Cardiff, 5 or 6 maybe off Cardiff, but they have to get something here. I mean, there's no choice really for Plymouth if they want to stay up. Against Portsmouth, who just beat Leeds there, and something I really should have predicted. I just wasn't brave enough to predict it. Although in some sense I did predict it. Anyway, in this one I think Portsmouth get the win. 4-0 at home. Hull versus Oxford next up is going to be an interesting one. Both teams very close to each other in the table. But I do think there is one side here that will be fine this season. That is Hull. And I think they get the win here, 2-1. Leeds versus Millwall next up. And it's just not the right time for Leeds to be playing Millwall. Millwall, the only side, I believe, so far this season not to lose to Leeds. Of course, they beat them in the FA Cup last month, 2-0 away at Ellen Road. They beat them in November, 1-0 at the Den. Could they do the treble over Leeds this season in all competitions? I think yes. I think so. I wasn't brave enough last time to predict Portsmouth to beat them, and I knew they would. In this one, I don't know if I'm going for it because I want to try and prove a point or not. I got a feeling Millwall do them over, though. Leeds falling apart again? I think so. I mean, every season it happens. I think they'll go on this mini... every season it happens, doesn't it? It happened last season. They drop a few points. They're dropping the points now. After the international break, maybe they'll start to pick it back up and it'll be a little bit too late to get automatics. I think that's what's going to happen. Leeds at home really should be winning this one, but Millwall get the win, 1-0 here away at Ellen Road. Watford versus Swansea next up. Alan Sheehan in his penultimate game potentially for the Swans, because he did say he was only going to be in charge for 5 games. In the international breaks, they're going to have talks with the board and see what's going to happen in the international break for Sheehan's future at Swansea. I think he should be giving it till the end of the season. Swans have not conceded under him. It's 3 clean sheets in a row. Very promising stuff, by the way. Watford just lost at home to Millwall. In this one, Swans get the win. 2-1 away at Vicarage Road. We will concede, I think, but we will get the 3 points here. Come on, the Swans. And the final game to predict is Stoke versus Blackburn. Stoke losing dramatically, and Mark Robbins must be absolutely sick after building that Coventry side. And then, losing the last seconds after coming back from 2-0 down. Must feel absolutely sick about that result. Stoke are in a bit of trouble, by the way, in the last 10 games. As for Blackburn, still having aspirations for the playoffs. I don't think they'll end up getting them. They'll need to win here. I think they will. 4-2 Blackburn in this one. Well then, guys, that concludes my predictions for match week 37 of the Championship. As always, if you did go on to enjoy, be sure to drop a like and subscribe as always. Let me know one side you think will definitely win in the comment section down below. For me, I will go for Sunderland to definitely win this match week. Or Portsmouth. That's another good shout. And I'll see you in the next one very soon, guys. Take care. Stay safe. Till very soon. Goodbye.